Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Redmen TV. Liverpool, 10 men Liverpool have just seen out a nil. No, I wish. Have just seen out a 2-2 draw against Fulham. Forgive me. It's felt like a very long afternoon already. But yeah, we are here. This is your fan reaction show. Looking at the game, trying to unpack it and trying to just see, was that enough? Was a point today enough for Liverpool Football Club? Is that really what we needed at this moment? Did anybody see the game unfold in the way that they did? Was it a red card? All of these thoughts, feelings, let me know yours. I'm going to try and get everything set up so I can start to finally see some of your comments in the live stream, just so we know where we're up to more than anything else. And yeah, just let me know really what you're thinking, because for large parts of the game I thought Liverpool, especially after going down to 10 men from about 20-minute mark to the halfway point, we were struggling really to adapt and kind of find that rhythm and re-establish our, the strength in the game and get a foothold in it. It did seem very difficult at times for Liverpool, but I can understand because we're not necessarily used to playing in those circumstances. We see Gravenberch dropping back and he's almost playing as a little bit of a sweeper alongside Virgil van Dijk. Trent starts to invert a lot more, which kind of played to his strengths a little bit, but obviously in the second half we revert back to type and it is more of a back four in that respect. There was a lot going on and it was very difficult to see where Liverpool was going to break down this Fulham side. It didn't look like we was best suited to our set pieces. I think set pieces is an area which is going to be something that we're going to have to address as well in the next couple of weeks, because there are teams out there that are very prolific at set pieces, whereas we seem to still be struggling with set pieces at times. We didn't look very threatening. We didn't look very threatening on the break either at times, and we didn't look like there was the players there in that first half that wanted to take the game by the scruff of the neck and have those big moments. The second half is night and day. It's a completely different performance from Liverpool Football Club. I'm going to head over to Twitter first, do things a little bit of a different order if I can. And let's see. So, full-time Liverpool 2, Fulham 2, a breathless game at Anfield. I don't know how to feel at the moment. Liverpool down to 10 early and went behind twice. Came back to equalise on both occasions. 2 points dropped, or did we show some good character to get the draw? What do you think? Well, Mr. Johnny Fallon says, it was an immense performance with 10 men, and that's a vital point. Yeah, again, it would seem that way given the nature of the game. Dr. 94 says, unreal character to get a point there. Who else? G'day, comeback. Robbo's legs have gone and Trent looks like he couldn't care less. Interesting. There's a couple of comments about Trent as well. I didn't particularly think Trent was great in that first half and for the first goal, if I'm being completely honest with you. I don't think it's completely his fault, but I think he should really be looking to close down the other fullback and get a lot tighter to him, so just try and prevent him from getting the ball into the box. But again, Paul Gregory says, that is 2 points dropped. Massive. Yeah, Alexa says, Quanta and Gomez should not be paired again, not to talk of when we are a man down. Yeah, it was very difficult. OT says, it's sad to say, but we need to replace Robbo. Ultimately, he's cost us today. Lads did well to fight back, and with 11, we'd have won that. It's good to see that Jota's back. Yeah, I think that is a bit of a silver lining there from Liverpool's perspective, having Diogo Jota back, him coming straight back into the fold and getting straight on the score sheet, back like he's never been missing, is exactly what we needed. Kilgore's got a bit of a different approach and perspective on it. He says, given how Arsenal drew, that is a great point, and we can march on. Yeah, and I take that on board in terms of keeping that momentum, and I think the lads they'll feel a moral victory today, given the fact that they'll look at the other result, they'll see that Arsenal have drew with Everton. When does that ever typically happen, especially at the Emirates? But then you'll also take a little bit of solace from the fact that we had to dig deep. It wasn't necessarily a back against the walls performance, but the chips were down, and we fought so hard to get back into the game, and then you just seen how gutted and flat they looked when they conceded that late, the late one that put Fulham ahead. So for them to still continue to dig deep, have that sense of belief within themselves and what it is that they're capable of, and then to come away with the point, objectively speaking, I think they will probably take that as a little bit of a moral victory, and it just allows them to stay confident and keep that momentum going into the next week's games, because they'll look at it and say, do you know what? 11v11, we'd flatten them, and we I think we would have. George Furlong says, if only Anthony Robinson was 3 years younger. Yeah, I mean, he would have been some player as well for us. Connor Mallon says, taking Gakpo off was a ridiculous decision. I was the one who, not the only one who made that, but I said I would have taken Gakpo off on that left and moved Diaz over there, to be fair. So I can kind of understand that from that perspective. We are looking live chats right now. Let's go back across to you guys with some live chats. Dane Null says, we really need Ibu back quicker. Maybe Gomez for a left back for a while could be good, potentially. Ilya says, we never looked like we was down to 10 men. We were the better team. No, make no mistake about it. I genuinely think we was the actual better team. I think it suited Fulham that we still managed to keep that level of control in the game, because they wanted to counter us. They wanted to pick us off. And when you look at their second goal, it does come from a counter-attack. So that played into their game plan perfectly in that respect. So yeah, I take that point. From a 10-men perspective, we did look good. There was just a chance for me that we could have just seen out the game and we could have actually nicked a win, and that would have just been even better. Big T says we should be 16 points clear. I mean, we could have been, but you know what? That's footy sometimes, and we weren't going to win them all between 2 weeks ago into the end of the season. We had to expect there would have been bumps in the road. One of the things that I've been most fascinated about, because I think for the most part Arne Slot has been very fortunate in the way that the Liverpool team have risen to the challenge of a new manager and a slightly different setup. But in terms of points, results and performances, we've been good enough that we haven't had to ride that many moments of adversity. I was really intrigued in parts, again, kind of dissociating a sense of that we're in the middle of a title race, but to understand what does adversity look like now when we have to dig deep and we have to go to the well, and we leave ourselves in less favourable situations than what we would like and hope. How does the team respond? Do they have that belief in themselves? Do they still feel that they can continue to do the right things in the right moments? And will they step up and have that quality? And on 2 occasions we did. We showed that we've still got that quality. For a large part of the game, we showed that we was actually the better team. We was the better team with the ball. Without the ball, we was working hard tirelessly to get the ball back in and to turn the other team back round. So there was a lot of things that I will take away from that performance in the cold light of day, and I'll look at it and think, actually, given the circumstances, I feel as though it is a good point. I am gutted that the game played out the way that it did, because ultimately that's not the control that Arne Slot wants to see. But I'm so used to Liverpool not always having control and having to risk things a little bit more, that I want to see if we still got that. Is the dog still in us, basically? Do we still have that dog in us? And I think that performance in the end goes some way for me feeling confident that it does still exist. There is still a mentality monster there that we can tap into if needed. Positivity zone. Hopefully you got something positive to say. I will always love Robbo for what he gave us for years. One of my favourite players ever. I won't let these performances change my memory of him, but we are only as good as our weakest link, and that is him. Yeah, give me your thoughts and feelings about Robertson at the moment, ladies and gents. While we've got a couple of minutes in the chat before we go over to the other show, because I already put it out there that he's, spoiler alert, he's going to get a you messing in the player rankings. But, let me know your thoughts on Andy Robertson. Let me know, do we need an instant upgrade, or do we need someone else that can, in the next 12 months, can eventually take that spot? Or are you just looking for a like for like right now, somebody who is about to hit their prime? Do let me know in the chat. Kat says, big point there. Alex is saying, when Simicast back? Yeah, Milile says, I am not buying that. Chance is not interested. That's right. Do you know what? I don't think that either, to be fair. I just think he could have potentially done better for the first goal. Joel Da Costa says this was a great point considering the circumstances. It was much better than a Newcastle point, in my opinion. Okay, yeah. Again, the circumstances, it's context to everything, isn't there? So yeah, I will take that. Who else there? Let's see what people are saying about Robbo. Duct Tape says when Costas returns, the two need to be rotated at left back, and when the right player becomes available, we need to buy them as our full-time starting left back. So then, who goes? Do you sell Robertson or do you sell Tsimikas? What would be the succession plan in that respect? And it says Robbo, Trent, and Mo had a terrible game. Well, Mo provides an assist in all fairness, but again, I take your point. I think there's almost a conversation where you have to kind of separate the output from Salah sometimes and the performance in game from Salah sometimes, and I don't think it was probably his best performance, but give him the time and the space, he will still provide you key moments that ultimately get you back into games when they're not always going your way. Given Quanta pelters really is poor form from our lot. But that's the nature of the internet sometimes, ladies and gents. Like, I wouldn't get too drawn into that. I do think he needed to do better for the second goal as well. I think he just got to be more aggressive. You're a centre half at the end of the day. You're the bigger player. You've got to be physical in that space. You've got to be commanding, and you've got to command that area in that zone of the pitch. And I just don't think he stamped his authority. I know he was probably a little bit cold still and probably trying to warm his legs up or whatever and get a feel for the game. But in those moments, I don't need you to get a feel for the game, lad. I just need you to be a bully, like a proper bully. And you wasn't, unfortunately. Who else have we got? Christopher Mancini says, everyone being negative, let's be real. When we were 1-0 down and got a red card, we would have all been hoping for a draw, which is what we got. Yeah, a lot of people would have been. I still felt like we could have won, and we probably should have won. But at 1-0 down, and going into the second half, I wanted Liverpool to come out in the second half, score an early goal, and really turn the screws to Fulham, which I think we tried to do to an extent. I just don't think we was clinical enough when the opportunities came, and I think we kind of made a hash of it towards the latter end of the match, really, if I'm being honest with you. Let's see what we've got. Is there... I think there might be a couple of super chats. Have I missed any? I don't want to say. Yeah, Tyrone says... A new left back, simple as that, really. No draw in a title race is a good point. We've lost league games for drawing too many games like this. Points at home is poor. Yeah, I think I do take that point in all fairness. I am one that is very staunch against getting points at home because I just think points kill your title credentials and hopes. I think the saving grace this season is the other teams competing for the league with us. I've picked up a collection of draws that would also, on normal circumstances, take them out of a title race as well. So I think it's half cancelled them out, and I think it will look ultimately at the end of the season come down to who wins the most games and who loses the fewest. And at the moment, Liverpool are still top of the league for that reason. Stuart Armstrong, he's been a member for 44 months. Excuse me, 44 months. 2 pens, 1 red card in the space of 3 weeks for Andy Robertson. Yeah, that says it all. Not good form at all. Coinciding with the fact that we haven't got Tsimikas there to kind of step in and take him out of the firing range at the minute. Lads, I'm so proud of the team, but I do need to ask where Trent Alexander-Arnold's head is at the moment. He had no drive to get back. Robinson for Robertson. Kwanzaa looks shot. Yeah, I think the Jarell Quansah of 12 months ago to the Jarell Quansah of today, it is very stark difference. Thank you very much, everyone, for donating super chats as well, by the way. I do appreciate it, and I will get to them all as we go through the course of this show. Jerome Wise says, not just his defending, Trent was effing jogging back. I think he was backpedaling, wasn't he, into the space. But you almost knew when Iwobi kind of cut in to go back infield, he was always looking to play that ball back out to Robertson. And for me, Robertson is the threat getting the balls into the box. So don't necessarily just backpedal. Go and mark your man. Go and make it more difficult to A, get the ball into his feet, or B, if the ball ends up at his feet, make it difficult for him to get the ball into the box, close down that space, be aggressive. It was very casual from Trent. It was almost shown to be doing the right thing with your body without really having the intent required. David LFC says Jota is king. We were the better team, a tough game. After going to 10, we fought well to get a point. On to the next one. You never walk alone. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much for the super chat. Ahmad says, bad decision early cost us 2. Great character and effort got us 1. With Robertson, we need rotation more than an upgrade. Okay, curious to see what happens. Yeah, I'm a little bit like you in that respect. I think not having the option for rotation at the moment has probably hindered our ability to really do anything on our left-hand side. I think a lot of people have mentioned, maybe Joe Gomez coming in there and being able to play some games, but it's not been something that Arne Slot's really chose at any point, so he doesn't fancy Joe on the left-hand side for whatever reason. Jamie Rayner says the head loss is insane. A draw is fine with the context. Recent games also ensure we enter the market in January. Yeah, you'd like to hope so. This is a random one. Gerrard never jogged back. If he is being a diva about his contract, go to Madrid to your man them in Bellingham. Remember what happened to Coutinho and McManaman and Owen. Look, at the end, this isn't the Trent transfer to Madrid show, but I take your point. I think everybody is getting increasingly frustrated with the uncertainty around the contracts, not just Trent's, in all fairness to him. And I think we just expect that when you're in a Liverpool shirt, being that Scouser, you take that responsibility on your shoulders in the same way we've seen the likes of Steven Gerrard do it in the past, Jamie Carragher to an extent. And we want you to have that affinity to the Liverpool Football Club. I don't question Trent's professionalism in that respect, and I don't question his, whenever he is given the chance to play for us, he wants to give us all. But with the level of uncertainty that is about, I understand people's frustration and their inability to kind of detach the two, to be able to say, with all this speculation going on, is it best that he just goes, because then the noise stops? I want the noise to stop as well. Make no mistake about it. This noise is not good for any of us. So yeah, the sooner it stops, the better. Josh Price says, it's nice to see everyone melting down again after the game. We don't win. Do you know what, mate? I'm calm about the fact that we didn't win, given the context of things and the fact that it's a point. And, I think it's going to be a valuable point when we look back towards the course at the end of the season, where my frustration in the game was there was moments where, in big moments, you just need somebody to step up for you. And last year we did it, 4-3 against Fulham last year. We felt like we was, hunting down a title. We felt like we was still in it with the chasing pack, and we needed big results when the game weren't going for us. And, Endo pops up with a big goal, Trent pops up with a big goal, and it was brilliant. And you could see that the players wanted to do the same thing again. Houdini says, 5 points clear with 10 minutes, all good, the Reds. Yeah, absolutely. Why would Arne Slot is banned, not allowed on the touchline? This is absolutely ridiculous that the referee told him off, that you're banned. What is the reason? I actually don't know, mate. You clearly seen something that I didn't at the time, so yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. The sensible folks in the Discord are not melting down because we've had the best minds in football. Upgrade your membership and join us there. Hey, ain't that a shameless plug there? Howdy, it's Dave. Big up yourself, but yeah, absolutely. Get yourselves over to Redmen Plus if you want to become a Discord member as well. Great little community of fans in there. Hello says, it was such a bad decision from Robbo, and such an experienced player with such a nonsense tackle. I think the thing for me with Robertson and that is because he's all action. I think he doesn't sense the initial danger and doesn't see over his blind side that there's trouble there in the form of Harry Wilson. But then what's even worse is the fact that he hasn't got a right foot, so he can't just play that ball back into the path of a red shirt. He needs to take it on the outside of his left foot. When that touch isn't perfect, he only then sees the white shirt and he just panics. It's fight or flight, and he fully goes into fight mode, and he literally just wants to protect what he's got, and he just times it all wrong. And I think that is the raw passion and the nature of an all-out, all guns blazing action man like a Robbo is at times, and your experience really should be kind of getting you out of trouble in those moments, because you should be better than that. And like I say, Liverpool only scored 2 goals in that second half anyway. You know, if we would have been 2-0 down then, do Fulham get that third and do we lose 3-2? We will never know the answer to that question in that equation. But I think when we break it down, you know, Robertson in that moment made a horrendous mistake, a massive mistake. It gives Slot a headache now because of what he can potentially do. We already mentioned over there before, you know, player-wise, what we've got to work with. It was very slim pickings from a defensive standpoint, so we're going to have to do some reshuffling of the pack once again to see. PP says that we desperately need a new left-back, albeit 2 years late. We're missing Bradley big time. Trent's heads in Madrid, not interested in defending. See you later, Trent. Wow. Seeing so many people turn on Trent a little bit frustrated. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm genuinely not. But you're entitled to your opinion. That's absolutely fine. I just think, given what Trent has given this football club, how well he's performed, he's one of our own. He's come through the academy. He's not like he's just come through the academy from some random place. He's come through the academy from the ends. He's from, like, West Derby. He's from Liverpool. He's a local lad. Like, Liverpool have allowed this situation to become what it is, ultimately by not putting the contracts in front of Trent in an adequate enough time for him to secure down his future. Also, all of the uncertainty that happened months ago has disrupted what might have ordinarily been quite a seamless process. There are extenuating circumstances that we cannot be so naive to just simply think he doesn't want to be a part of this Liverpool setup anymore. I don't believe that, and until there's hard evidence to suggest otherwise, I think it's a little bit. I think we're a little bit slight turning our back on him, if I'm being honest with you. But again, that's just my opinion. Yeah, again, Millar says it again. Save that energy for when, if he goes. He's a Liverpool player, and that's all that matters until he isn't. Bang, boom, big up you. That is it. That's the through line, and that'll be that in terms of the Trent discourse. Yeah, Gaz says we're always looking for someone to blame. We are, but if we're going to blame anyone today, let's blame Andy Robertson. There's nobody else that I can blame other than Robbo. Like, today, if we end up 11 versus 11 on the pitch, we are cruising. We comfortably come back, and we probably get that scoreline that Dan Club was predicting when we was doing the build-up. So that's who I'm blaming. Let's be honest. This is a bit. I want to give the armband to Salah or to Mac 10, but Alisson till has ownership too. Why? What's wrong with Verge being the captain? I'm liking what Verge is doing as a captain for us at the moment. Captain for the club, captain for his country. Yeah, I wouldn't be changing the captaincy midway through a season where Liverpool are sitting top of the Champions League, top of the Premier League, and looking like we are still going to go into the new year top of the league as well. Like, no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, Adders, this is a big one. Nunes, he got the assist today for Jota. I thought it was really good. And to be honest, the short cameo that Nunes and Jota came on, I thought he was both excellent, to be fair. And they were the type of substitutes we needed if we would have been 1-0 down with 11v11 into the second half. We get ourselves back into the game and we wanted to push on for the winner. They would have been perfect in terms of how they approached and set up and played their game today. That is exactly what we would have wanted. The composure from Diogo Jota to sit down the goalkeeper, the through ball from Nunes, it's sticking his hold up play. That to me would have been exactly what we would have needed in that second half if it was 11v11. We was a little bit more risky in terms of the approach, and it was a little bit more hell for leather at times because we was desperate to get something out of the game. But those two had an impact, especially the type of impact that I can imagine the manager would have been really happy to see as well. So I'm here for that all day. Ian Allen says, it's 1:30 a.m. here in Perth. Big up you for doing the night shift, man, and sticking it in with us. So glad that we come away with a point. Great game, and unlucky that we didn't get the win at Anfield. The 12th man, and they need to stand up and take a bow. Yeah, well, everyone at Anfield, it felt like it needed to be fed there in that second half, and I can imagine it will have been. Let's see what else. Barry says it was a good draw. Yeah, simple. It was. Well, now that we've said that, now that I feel a little bit better about the situation, I can see the chat is still blowing up very much in respect to the Trent and the Robbo. It is the conversation. The talking points is the fullbacks. Let's be honest. That is really the talking points, and we don't need to skate away from it. Certainly not. They will both be under the spotlight for their performances today for different reasons, but I think he was underwhelming both, in all fairness. But I will end the show on this. Think about that. 3 months nearly. 3 months nearly, and Liverpool are still unbeaten. That is good. It's good for momentum. It's good for the confidence, and it's good for the overall shape of this team and lining things up into that new year. We knew that there would be bumps in the road. We knew that there'd be moments of adversity that we would have to overcome. Liverpool have managed to do that. We have wrestled from the jaws of defeat. We have managed to somehow salvage a point. Stick around with me, because this is where it's about to get very, very interesting. We are going to go over to the player rankings. I have never done a player rankings and really had to give away such an easy "are you messing?" But spoiler alert, there's one coming. So stick around. Dicky Orez says top of the league is plurals, Errol, because we are top of the leagues at this moment in time. But yeah, absolutely, please do stick around. I'm going to take the laptop over there. We're going to get into it. Player rankings time. Let me know. Stick with me. Please try not to be so... let's not have a meltdown about it. Let's have a little look at it and see what we can do. But I don't mind if we do as well. Let's have it. I'll see you in a sec.